Hey, church, so just a couple things. By way of an update from this past Sunday's congregational meeting, again, when we met to talk about Faith Revival Mission Church in Kampala, we wanted to update you on that, but also give you some more recent thoughts from the elders. We've been talking a lot this week. We apologize that we're getting this report out to you later in the week, but what we found following Sunday meeting was that there was just a number of thoughts that we had as elders that we continue to talk about and pray into. Had a meeting last night and feel prepared to just share with you our heart. As an update on the meeting, once again, if you were there, you would have known that there were lots of question marks and concerns, good questions that were going around, many of them, and we just felt like it would not have been wise for us to have called for a vote with that many question marks still floating. And we feel like we made the right decision on that. That stated, we also want to come back to you, the congregation, and say that we still feel pretty strongly. We feel that we sense that God may be calling our church to partner with Faith Revival Mission Church in their hour of need to be able to continue the ministry of the gospel in the neighborhood that they are in. And so because of that, as embarrassing as this may feel to me or us, we want to call for yet another meeting on April the 24th, 2 weeks from on Sunday. April the 24th at 3:30 in the afternoon. That gives plenty of time to have conversation and time to get home for lunch and then come back. April the 24th at 3:30 in the afternoon, we want to have another congregational meeting. Please do your best to be there so that we can have quorum and make an actual decision. But this time we will be calling for a vote. While we did not feel like it would be wise to call for a vote this past Sunday, we do feel compelled to call for a vote at this upcoming meeting. To get ready between now and then, we've also commissioned a 3-person team that will try to research a number of the questions that were brought up and concerns brought up during the 2 meetings to talk about those and to give a more full report on April the 24th regarding some of those concerns. If you have questions and concerns that you would like this team to tackle, we would invite you to email me or one of the other elders directly, and we'll make sure that the team is able to research that on your behalf. Again, this team at this time will be made up of Doug Bradnick, Eric Eberts, and Jeff Heineman. Our gratitude to those 3 guys for being willing to serve with the unique gifts that they have and background in ministry that they have as well, to serve our church on behalf of the elders and behalf of this congregation. We want to give opportunity as well for you to consider praying into what you might pledge. We're going to put a link in this email, and we're asking again, probably the vote that we will try to ask for once again on the 24th will be to take $30,000 out of savings and to try to match that with personal pledges. So if you would, please begin to pledge even now. Don't give yet, but please pledge with that link below and let us know your willingness before the Lord to do so. We want to be a giving church. In fact, we've gone through some downsizing, as you know, with staffing. And one of my hopes coming out of this would be, first of all, to have stronger lay teams that we try to have, we'd resource them, but that there'd be really strong lay teams. But that we would also be a lean and mean machine, as it were, that we would just be able to function really well with as little money leveraged towards salaries as possible, so that the monies that come in, we might be able to turn around and give away for the sake of the kingdom outside of these 4 walls into this community and around the world. As you know, it's very difficult to come up with a complete unanimous vote as a group of 100+ members in a room on a particular church or project at a particular place, etc. So one of the things that we want to encourage and even challenge us to consider is that if we're going to actually become a church that gives sacrificially to projects or needs such as this, there's going to have to be some flexibility that we agree to, that we're going to have a voice and a vote, but then when we take the vote, we just with joy release the funds to the Lord and for His work, and we trust Him to just take those monies and use them for His glory. But if we build into our cultural value that there has to be unanimity or everybody voting the same way, in order to have unity, we will end up bottlenecking any potential sacrificial giving in the future. It will always have to be pushed down to the private donor. And we would like to build into the cultural values of this church that we as a church give sacrificially. To that end, we will need to be a church that is able, again, to have good, healthy dialogue, discussion, lots of questions. We research it like we're hoping to with this team, But then at the end of the day, after we have a voice and a vote, we take a vote and then we with joy release the funds for the work of God's kingdom. That's what we're hoping will take place either on the 24th or in sometime near in the future, because we anticipate that there will be other ways that our church can partner with what God's doing around the world through the funds that are already in our savings account, but also as will continually come in, we hope and pray as the Lord adds growth numerically and financially to our church moving forward. We want to be a church that is sacrificial and giving and generous to the work of God around the world. So, thank you again in advance for praying towards this meeting. I want to remind you of something. Again, the church in Uganda never did ask us for money. They asked us to pray. I think many of us have been praying whether we should give. And I just want to remind us, that's actually not what they asked for. They asked us to pray that God would miraculously provide the funds that they need. So if you or we have not been doing that, then I just want to first of all say, let's do that. Let's at the very least pray that God would provide for their needs. And secondly, then yes, let's also pray that God would show us individually how we may be a part of that provision, that God may put it on our hearts to give towards this particular gift at this time. Thank you for walking this journey together with the elders and I. We sense that we have been just honoring one another and seeking to honor the Lord in it, and we are trusting that God will bear fruit as a result. Blessings, and thank you so much.